Hi guys! Today we are going to be talking about con men and red flags in relationships. Welcome to my financial literacy channel, where my aim is to empower, inform, and provide the agency to support Canadians from negatives to millions. You can find out more or connect with me in the links below. So this video was inspired by the plethora of shows and movies and documentaries that I'm seeing about con men. In particular, this was inspired by the Tinder swindler and a couple of, honestly, experiences I've had as well as experiences with clients. For example, I knew a woman who fell in love with a man in England who needed help with his business, and she ended up sending him about 100 grand, pulled it all off credit cards. I myself was working with a very bad firm that managed to keep me there for a lot longer than I'm proud of by following the same principles effectively across the board. So I'll start with these red flags. These red flags are very easy. First of all of these gifts are going to be extravagant. You're going to be sent fancy places. You're going to be given big jewelry, taken out for fancy dinners, all of these things that seem really over the top. Now, these are supported by absolutely mysterious financial situations. You have no idea how they make their money. You have no idea how you're getting paid. You have no idea what they're doing for work or for business or whatever, but you think you know. They give you enough hints, but none of it is actually that clear, which is really important. This bleeds perfectly into the next red flag, which is unkept promises. Oh, we promise we'll send you here. We promise we'll pay you back. We promise blah, blah, blah. A lot of promises that don't go anywhere. So you're left holding the bag, expecting things to happen that never do. And you're just waiting and waiting because along the way, you might actually get treated to a couple of these extravagant gifts, which makes you think that at the end of the day, from these mysterious financial situations, that you're going to actually eventually get yours, that you're going to be supported. Maybe you're going to end up marrying the man of your dreams who has all the money for you, or the woman of your dreams for that matter. The last and most important red flag, I believe, is a constant need for help. As I mentioned with the first client example there, this boyfriend needed help with a business. Why? Why would his successful business need your financial help? The Tinder swindler, again, a great idea. Oh, I just need this much money because of my enemies. Enemies everywhere. I need support. Oh, I need this kind of support. I need that kind of support. Send me this kind of money. That is a massive red flag. As soon as you start to hear that from anyone you're dating, take a step back. Ask your friends. Take a think if this is really someone you want to be supporting and sending your money to. The problem with con men, the major problem with con men and relationships in which, frankly, you're financially taken advantage of, is that there are almost no legal repercussions. I mean this very seriously. It sucks. Unfortunately, our legal system just isn't built to prosecute white collar crime or fraud very often, or I call it white collar crime. It's theft. Somebody taking your money for nothing. They're never going to return it. You're never going to be able to really sue them, to take them to court. You're never going to be able to take them to the police. The police have other matters, and it doesn't often involve white collar crime. The thing about this, too, is that it is incredibly emotionally damaging. If you've been taken advantage of financially, you feel bad. You feel stupid. I felt stupid. I felt like I should have seen it coming from a mile away. I felt like I should have been more on top of my game. I felt like I should have seen these red flags. The problem is when you're swept up in the extravagance, in the drama, in all these mysterious situations, you feel like somehow it's going to work out, even if logically there is no way for it to work out. So at the end of the day, when you're left holding the bag and often holding a lot of debt, having lost all of your savings, sitting there and waiting, hoping somebody is going to pay you back or hoping to recuperate your funds, it's not just a financial loss, it's a huge emotional loss. You go through a type of grief because you anticipated a certain story that didn't work out. And unfortunately, that story has real life consequences. This can lead to depression, anxiety. It can lead to you losing trust in your fellow man, in your future relationships. And also, from a financial perspective, obviously, you could be short on your retirement. You could be left holding the bills for a lot of people. You could be paying interest that is way above your needs. You might have to go bankrupt. And all of this because one person took advantage of you when you were just trying to help. So, my advice, if you find yourself caught in one of these situations, and I'm going to remind you one more time what these red flags are. Red flag number one, extravagant gifts. Red flag number two, mysterious financial situations. Red flag number three is a constant need for help. And red flag number four is unkept promises. We promise we'll pay you back. We promise we'll take you here. We promise all of these things that never happen. So those four red flags will probably appear in the relationship slowly, may actually show up a little faster than you think, but in very small ways. By the time they're big red flags, it's often too late and you're often pretty deep in and you've lost possibly tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars to this individual or organization who is stringing you along. I would say that this applies to many pyramid schemes as well. Or perhaps, I don't want to give all MLMs a bad name, but there are some out there who will promise you a lot of good returns, promise you trips, promise you all this money, and this doesn't come around. And the reasons or the way you'll get paid is relatively mysterious. The compensation doesn't make a lot of sense. These are the red flags that you need to be looking for to avoid a con. Honestly, your only option is to get out. I'm sorry to say it. Get out and get out as quickly as possible. Really, you want to make sure that you cut off all ties. You want to make sure that you close off any information that these people may have access to. Change bank account numbers, change credit cards, change mailing addresses if you need to, phone numbers, etc. You basically want to start fresh. I highly recommend checking in on your credit score to see if anything has been taken out in your name, because that is a very serious possibility. You want to make sure that if you have found credit that's been opened in your name, that you go and claim it, that you file with the fraud department if necessary. Again, you may not actually see any help coming out of it, unfortunately. But the important thing at this point is to help yourself. So by helping yourself, you get out and you just start to recuperate. You gotta, if at all possible, or if it's within your budget, attempt to go see a therapist. I highly recommend that because of the volume of psychological damage that being conned takes. This is not spoken about enough, but truthfully, if you are working your whole life to put away savings, or you are on top of your finances, your cash flow, etc., you've been working hard, and now somebody comes in and just takes it away from you, that is incredibly damaging. And please do not underestimate that or second guess yourself. As I mentioned, report anywhere you can. You want to keep any evidence, keep all evidence, keep everything. Text messages, emails, phone calls, voicemails. If you have statements of anything at all, keep everything. Because if ever there is a case, if ever you need to prove yourself to perhaps a creditor, or you need to take this to court, you want to have all of the documentation possible in order to prove your point and to make your case. Know that you're not alone. Seriously, that is a very big one. You are not alone. There are scores of people who have been taken advantage of and who have lost money. As I said, myself included. I was defrauded through a condo. I was defrauded by a previous company. I'm lucky enough not to have been in a relationship with someone who took advantage of me, a romantic relationship with someone who took advantage of me financially. But all of these things leave a lasting effect. And it is something that if you can, as I said, get out, report, keep your evidence, and then know that you are one of many, many people trying to survive this. The thing about financial damage and being conned is that nobody talks about it. So it is very rare that you're going to have that conversation with your friends. It's very rare that you're going to be able to talk about that with your family. If you're lucky, you have that support group. And honestly, I would recommend reaching out because I bet you at least one of your friends has gone through this. Take care of yourself. really. This is not something that you should take lightly by any means, and it's not something that you need to own as being your fault. Everyone gets taken advantage of. The statistics are something like 1 in 3 Canadians, 1 in 4 Canadians have been defrauded in their lifetime. And I bet you the numbers are significantly higher because a lot of these frauds, especially within a relationship, don't ever get reported. Why would you go to the police about that asshole you dated for 6 months who cleaned out your bank account? Because you were giving it to him, or you were paying for absolutely everything in the house and she decided to walk with it. You never know, right? On that note, I hope that this gave you some good insight. Please remember to like, subscribe, and comment for more about your money. If your questions are bigger than the contents of this video, please don't hesitate to reach out to your CFP in your life and to get some more professional support. Or you can contact me by text, by email, or by signing up for a 30-minute phone call free of charge to point you in the right direction. I am currently taking on new clients, and I am always happy to help. Until next time, wishing you financial security and success.